Good morning. Thank you to my supporters for joining me and my family as we begin our journey to provide responsible leadership in tough economic times for the city of Springfield. For those of you that do not know my family, I'd like to introduce my wife, Carolyn. And by the way, for just a point of information, November 12th, we were married 44 years. And my daughter, Michelle, from Washington, D.C. We have another daughter, Elizabeth. She and our granddaughter, Josephine, were here for the holiday weekend, but had to return to St. Louis for a previously scheduled business meeting this morning. The Houston family came to Sangamon County in 1824. My father was a lifelong resident of Springfield, except for his service in the Navy during World War II. Following the war, he returned to Springfield with my mother and me and joined and started a 26-year career with the U.S. Post Office. My mother was a public health nurse here in Springfield with the Visiting Nurses Association for 20 years. Last February, I began talking publicly about running for mayor in this election. I've been involved with the issues facing our city since returning to my hometown in 1971. Based on my professional experience and long tenure of volunteer service in this community, I'm uniquely qualified to guide the city at this critical juncture. I have found that in my informal discussions, the people of Springfield agree. So 2 weeks ago today, I was the first person to file petitions for the February 22nd primary and will become the first name listed on the ballot. It was important to be first to file because to me filing first underscores how urgently Springfield needs a change in leadership. Little did I know last February, or 2 weeks ago today, that our incumbent mayor would choose not to seek a third term. This May, our city will have a new mayor and a city council with at least 3 new members on it. People often ask me why I'm running for mayor. First and foremost, I love this city. I've been actively involved in our community since returning to my hometown in 1971. I believe that with responsible leadership, our community has a bright future and that we can grow and prosper. The current state of the city finances and the impact on the delivery of public services is unacceptable. I believe that I can provide the leadership to the City Council as well as manage city government to correct these problems. As a former 2-term mayor, I can hit the ground running. I do not need on-the-job training. I have 20 years' experience in CEO positions, including my time as mayor of Springfield. While I realize the city of Springfield is not a business, the principles of running a business need to be applied to running government. I have over 35 years of private sector management experience. I retired as the chairman, president, and CEO of Town & Country Bank in March 2009 and currently am the chairman emeritus. No one in this race has my professional or volunteer background. I know how city government works and is financed. I know firsthand the commitment that it will take to serve as mayor, as does my wife and family. Not only can I correct the current state of the city, I will position the city to take advantage of the economic development opportunities that I believe we have. The future of our city is at a critical turning point. The leadership and management abilities of the next mayor will have a major impact on the direction our community takes. The future of our city is bright, but we must work together as a community to make it happen. We must invest in our city and in our neighborhoods if our community is to have that bright future. We have to create jobs. My priorities as mayor is to grow our local economy and to work with local businesses to retain existing jobs and create new jobs by fostering an environment and atmosphere in city government that welcomes and works with people who want to have or want to invest and create jobs in our community. Economic development should be citywide with an equitable amount of development going in all areas of Springfield. The health of the city is about jobs. We need to put our financial house in order. I will develop a good, sound financial plan looking at the big picture. When we experienced the recession of the early 1980s, as mayor, I developed a plan that balanced expenses against revenues with the least impact on city government. We need to do this again. The next City Council will need to make difficult budget decisions to make city government more efficient and to protect the taxpayers' money. You may have read Friday's Journal Register, the article dealing with what is anticipated in terms of possible layoffs. It will not be easy, and it will take the right sizing of the city's workforce to match expenses against revenues. The city must meet its pension obligations for its workers and pay for its share of the cost of health insurance as top priorities as a budget is put together using realistic assumptions. We have to approach the city budget being realistic about the economic climate that exists today and what I would assume would exist in the foreseeable future. We need to begin in terms of thinking of multiple-year budgets as if we are to achieve financial success and to create a rainy day fund and an adequate working cash fund. This will not happen overnight. It will take years. But if we are to truly put our financial house in order, we have to plan for the future. As mayor, I will meet regularly with my directors to discuss how we are delivering city services, how we can change what we are doing to do it better and more efficiently, and how we can improve. From my more than 35 years of private sector management experience, I know that you cannot simply raise revenues like the public sector can raise taxes. You have to control expenses. I have a good working relationship with Andy Van Meter, who chairs the county board, and I would work with him to look for ways to improve the delivery of services and eliminate duplicity between the city and county government in a cooperative manner. My goal is to provide the highest level of services possible that the taxpayers expect, always stretching the tax dollars that are provided. This can only happen if we tackle the financial problems facing the city aggressively and we actually spend less than we're taking in. As we begin to talk about city services, I believe that it is important to have clean and safe streets to create a quality of life that the people of Springfield can be proud of and that is conducive to creating economic development and job opportunities. I view providing police, fire, and public work services as the basic services provided by city government. The basic services of city government are provided by people, and the morale of the people providing services has a direct impact on the type of customer service that they will provide. Again, as someone who has more than 35 years of private sector management experience, I know the importance of providing good customer service and always striving to improve it. I know from my 2 terms as mayor that the vast majority of the city workers are good, dedicated employees who want to do a good job for the people of Springfield. I will ensure that the police officers and firefighters of our community have the tools necessary to protect the people of Springfield. I will create an environment in city government where it is the job you do, not who you know, that will determine your successful advancement. If this city is to have the bright future that I envision and take advantage of the opportunities that it has, it must develop and implement a comprehensive infrastructure program to deal with the neglect of the past. It will take a dedicated source of funding to accomplish, but it is something that must be addressed if we are going to move forward, grow, and prosper. As mayor, I would expect to form strong partnerships with the homeowners associations and community development organizations from all parts of town. These are organizations with volunteers who are committed to improving their neighborhoods and ultimately our community. The city must work with and support these organizations as well as seek their input when we are doing things that affect their specific areas. This will be a special election. The candidates for city office have the opportunity to discuss what they will do if they are elected over the next 4 months leading up to the April 5th general election and avoid the personal attacks and negative campaigning that was commonplace in our most recent November election. During this campaign, I plan to keep the media informed of my plans by holding a series of news conferences and engaging the people of Springfield in town hall type meetings, public forums, online video conferences, and person-to-person meetings to outline my plans as mayor of Springfield. I thank you for being here today and welcome the ideas and participation of our community as we begin our journey to provide responsible leadership in tough economic times for the city of Springfield.